Magic the Gathering is a game that features a vast and continuous multiverse of stories set across countless planes and that incorporates numerous themes. One of those themes is horror. With the beginning of October, so begins our countdown to Halloween. 30 days, 30 decks, 30 different creatures of the night, all culminating with a special 31st episode on Halloween Day itself. For those of you with a profound fascination of the macabre, I invite you to join me on this venture through 30 days of night. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? I'm MTG Budget Brew, and welcome to day 13 of our 30 days of night. If you don't already know, Triskaidekaphobia is the extreme superstition regarding the number 13. It can be seen as an unlucky number, but today it will be instrumental to our victories. Within the game of Magic, there are several cards that offer alternative ways to win the game. These cards will list out a set of requirements that, once met, will allow you to win the game on the spot. And one such card is Triskaidekaphobia. This card is 1 in a blue for a 1/3 human wizard that says you have no maximum hand size, and that says at the beginning of your upkeep, if you have exactly 13 cards in your hand, you win the game. It also has an activated ability for 3 in a blue that says draw a card. So you can win any game that you are in by simply getting out this creature, drawing up to 13 cards, and having it survive until your next upkeep. However, like most alternate win conditions, this is easier said than done. The archetype that I chose to build around to help us achieve our alternate win con was Treasure Hunt. Treasure Hunt is 1 in a blue for a sorcery that says reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal a non-land card, then put all cards revealed this way into your hand. Treasure Hunt decks make it really easy to fill your hand with a bunch of cards and essentially tutor into the next non-land card that you need. After you draw a ton of cards though, you will need a way to discard down to exactly 13 cards. And that's where this next creature comes in. Amoeba is 3 in a blue for a 2/4 elemental beast with flying that has the activated ability, discard a card, switch this creature's power and toughness until end of turn. So for 0 mana and at instant speed, we can discard as many cards as we need to from our hand to get it down to exactly 13. As you can see, this deck is only running 6 non-land cards, and to help us find them, we are running Seek New Knowledge. Seek New Knowledge is 1 in a blue for an instant that says seek 2 non-land cards, then put a card from your hand on the bottom of your library. If you don't already know, Seek says to seek a card, put one at random from your library into your hand. So Seek New Knowledge will essentially tutor 2 of our 6 cards into our hand. It is the most efficient way for us to find our combo pieces. And finally, we are running 1 more non-land card just to try and help us survive for as long as we can while we search for our combo pieces. And that is Ivory Tower. For 1 colorless, we have an artifact that says, at the beginning of your upkeep, you gain X life, where X is the number of cards in your hand minus 4. This can gain us a ton of life. In an ideal situation, you would treasure hunt, draw like 30 cards, have no max hand size, and then at the beginning of your upkeep, Ivory Tower would give you like 26 life. And that helps out a lot because we are developing absolutely no board whatsoever, which means our opponents will be free to run all of their creatures directly into our faces. For our mana base, I am running a full playset of Gate to Sea Tower as well as Gates of the Black Dragon because both of these also say seek a non-land card for the cost of 4 mana, which means that if we run out of gas or if we treasure hunt into the wrong card, we're not completely out of the game yet. As long as we have one of these gates down on the field, we can go tutor 1 more non-land card. On top of that, I am running a full playset of Reliquary Tower because it says you have no maximum hand size. And like I mentioned for Ivory Tower, we want to have no maximum hand size to be able to gain the most amount of life from this card. So something I recommend doing is if you have Treasure Hunt in your hand, wait to play it until turn 3. Because if you cast this card on turn 2 and you don't have a Reliquary Tower already, you're going to have to discard to hand size at the end of your turn, which is no good. But if you wait until turn 3, you can treasure hunt, draw 10, 15, 20 cards, and more than likely find a Reliquary Tower, and then you'll be able to play that for turn, and that way you get to keep your giant hand size. And then that will allow you to start gaining a bunch of life off of your Ivory Tower. And then finally, for the rest of the deck, we're just running 19 islands, 19 swamps, and 4 choked estuaries. This deck is not easy to run. It is not for the faint-hearted. It is an extremely fragile combo, and it is not especially fast. The biggest difficulty you will face with this deck is the fact that Triskaidekaphobia needs to survive for an entire turn to be able to get the trigger at your next upkeep. That is the biggest problem that this deck has. If Triskaidekaphobia said if you have exactly 13 cards in your hand at your end step, you win the game, this card would be so much more fun to use. But most decks, they run removal. And because we're trying to keep as few amount of cards in our deck as possible, so that way Treasure Hunt doesn't hit a non-land card early, or like we don't seek into a card that we don't need, we're not running any protection spells. You could try to squeeze one in, but I was not a fan of it. I spent a lot of games trying to play around with the ratios for this deck, like a lot. If we take a look at my untapped account, you can see here that I went 2-7 with this deck. I played 9 games and had 5 different versions of the deck across those 9 games. And then this more recent version of the deck, I went 3-20 with a 13% win rate. Now, I won't lie, I tanked some games just to get the win rate down to 13% because I was already kind of close. Down here, you can see I just threw 6 games in a row. 10-second match, 10-second match, 13-second match, 11, 12. But even if you remove those 6 losses, like, the deck was still not doing well. And as you can see, there were 9 total versions of this deck. Means 9 different times I went in, removed cards, add cards, changed around ratios. It is not an easy deck to figure out. And even with this most recent version of the deck that I would say is the best one so far, it's still not a great deck, not by any means. Definitely not consistent. Definitely not gonna help you cheese a bunch of wins. This is the kind of deck that you run if you specifically want a challenge. On the plus side though, this deck is very, very budget friendly. There's only 1 rare in the deck and the majority of the deck list is just lands. So if you wanted to give it a try, it wouldn't cost you that much. But anyway, as you can see, I played a lot of matches, took a ton of losses, and I won't lie, it was a little bit hard to maintain my enthusiasm while recording. So I didn't record live commentary for the games that you're about to watch, but I do have the footage for the 3 wins that we got to be able to show you guys how the deck looks when it actually, all comes together. And another side note, alternate win cards on Arena are a little bit disappointing to use. And that's because there's no special animation or anything for it. There's not a lot of cards on Arena that have animations, but there are some, but those some do not include the alternate win condition cards. And that's really disappointing. They really, really should have some kind of special victory screen, crazy animation, just something. Like, come on, dude, even Solitaire has a special animated victory screen. And that's from like the 90s. I need Arena to step their game up for this. But anyway, at the end of this video, if you liked the video, you should like the video. If you liked me, the video, and you like Magic the Gathering, you should consider subscribing to the channel because that will get you more of all 3. And I will see you guys in the next one.